Welcome everyone to Bug Bounty Foundation and Ethical Hacking Training Program. So this program constructed in a way to help youngsters and fresh graduates who would like to start ethical hacking as a career or start that as a side hustle to explore opportunity in cybersecurity domain. So today session will cover foundations. So before getting to the session, let's start with a disclaimer as we are going to discuss some of the hacking techniques and tools that must be used ethically and legally. So you must understand while using techniques and tools against any websites, you must know the scope and legally or ethically is it permitted. If you scan or do any ethical hacking against any government related websites or anything restricted sites, that may create consequences and law enforcement may take action against you. So, as a disclaimer, whatever we are going to discuss is only for educational and learning purpose, and that will help you to start your career in bug bounty as well as cybersecurity as a pen tester. So who we are, why we are doing, just a quick introduction. So my name is Mohammed Ismail. I have been training students last 1 year in various other concepts like ISC squared certified in cybersecurity program, as many of you know. Also, this particular program, as I have seen many of you interested in ethical hacking and pen testing as an entry point into the cybersecurity domain. So I had a discussion with Subham when I met him in one of the event in Bangalore. He agreed to deliver a session in front of same community. So this community is driven by primarily me, and I will invite industry experts to deliver respective concepts. So my primary intention is to answering my self call, what am I giving back to the community? I have overall 10 plus year experience. I'm using this platform to deliver my experience journey as well as giving opportunity to motivate youngsters to get into the cybersecurity domain. So today program will cover foundation. Also about Learncybersec, as we started in 2025, we have delivered 4+ sessions on ISC squared certificate in cybersecurity program, which help you to participate and prepare for exam, and you can appear ISC squared exam that completely the certification and training is free of cost. But we'll start next batch maybe January or February later based on the interest. But we'll start next batch anytime soon in next year. But this year we so far completed 4 batches. The recordings and training materials available on the website as well as the YouTube channel. So now time to hand over to Shubham. Shubham, you can share your screen and start with your introduction and take it from here.
Sure, sir. First of all, thanks for giving me the opportunity to represent about bug bounty. And hey students, hey everyone. I hope everyone is very curious to learn about bug bounty. So my name is Subham, and as you have seen through my LinkedIn or this same post, so I have hacked multiple companies including Google, Apple, Microsoft, and other platforms like Samsung, Dell, and the list goes on. But the thing is, I love doing bug bounty, and I'm doing it like from past 1.5 year or more than 2 year. But I gradually started to understand how bug bounty works, how things are not much different from cybersecurity, and it's just a niche. But the point is, if you like to get some thrill in your life, you can go with bug bounty. So in today's course, we'll discuss how things are working, how as a base course, we'll start learning with these pillars of security, and gradually we will go with the from 4-day classes, and this will be an introduction course with basic knowledge and little bit of understanding. uh, Sir, am I audible? Everyone, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, you're audible. Go ahead, Shubham.
Sure.
Also, screen is
So,
visible. We could see a browser. Yeah, now we can see the slide.
okay. So, so I'm going to, follow a raw approach. Raw approach is like everyone is doing bug bounty, and people I have met, sir, I have seen multiple people doing great things, but things that worked for me might not work for you. So this is a base course, or you can say as a starting point through where you can create your own methodologies if you are really, passionate to do bug hunting and all. So, as said mentioned here, we will start with the basic things. Obviously, we'll go live and discuss all those things gradually. Before that, what we are going to do for these 4 days, we can discuss. So, I really want those people who are very, serious for this bug hunting and understanding things and being serious to security, because I got a lot of things from community and I want to do something for community. So, here I am. So here in day
Sorry
one,
to interrupt, Shubham. You can go on preview mode. We could still see the menu bar. You can
I
put
mean,
a
sir,
file.
yeah, I have to show side by side. So I think this is
Okay, you need to
better.
switch the tab. Okay, fine then. Then go ahead. Yeah.
Sure. So as you can see, for the day one, we will discuss about HTTP protocols, Linux and Bubsuit. These three tools are the most important tools if you want to become a manual hunter, not an automating hunter. But yeah, definitely automation will help you a lot. So come, we will discuss about other days later, but this is the main structure: HTTP protocols, Kali Linux. Then for day two is reconnaissance about subdomain enumeration, content discovery, and tech stack IDs. Third day is the exploitation for like OWASP top 10. We will even discuss little bit of OWASP today, also some CVs, then hacker reports, and we will also add all the details here. I mean the resources. So coming to the PPT. So what are the tools and what are the expectations? And so basically, obviously, if people are coming here, they have, I believe you guys will have a little bit of knowledge with network, probably port swigger, OWASP, DVWA. Have you ever done anything here? Have you used Kali Linux before?
We take the chat and say, yes or no. Have you ever used Kali Linux or any
Any
pen
tool?
testing tool? You just take the chat and type yes.
That's great. Let's go with chat. That's great. That's great. Some people are telling that they didn't use it, but installed, but not much. So here is a, introduction. Here's a motivation for you so that you can start doing all those things. Right. Then there are multiple tools. We'll go step by step how to install them, how to understand them. But basically, we will start with bug bounty and how hacking occurs. I mean, how you can enter to a security point, right? So first of all, what is bug bounty? If you haven't used those tools, we'll think about those tools later. But first, let's learn what is bug bounty. So bug bounties, I believe most of the people know, so that they came joined here. So basically, you have to just check what are the scopes are there. You have to hack a system. You have to create a report, and then you will submit the report. If your report is looking great within the scope, and then if they find that your report is valid, they will reward you. So that's all the about bug bounty. And how, who can do bug bounty? Obviously you don't need any degree. So when I started, I was doing my college degree, and uh, you know I was thinking what I will do and not. But you have to be consistent, and obviously skills is more important than certs. Obviously having a OSCP degree will definitely help you a lot. But when you hunt on a platform and you really find a valid vulnerability and you showcase, you portray your cases like, I yes, I have done this, I am a MVR in Microsoft, or I have found some bugs and they awarded me some case points and bounty, that will be much soundful than having a cert, right? And then consistency, obviously you have to do it every day. I mean, you might feel like, it's so frustrating, so boring, I can't go with this, but you have to. I mean, no matter what, if you are finding NA, if you are finding duplicates, we have to find. So basically, what are bug bounty programs? How can you check, how can you start doing bug bounty? So basically, there are multiple platforms including HackerOne, Bugcrowd, Integrity, Yes We Hack, Snack, and other platforms. So the some are open programs. We'll discuss it right now. So as let's say this is a HackerOne platform, right? If you sign up, create an account and create MFA, and then you will find this is the whole HackerOne platform. All right. And there are multiple programs here that are open. Open means you can go search for, let's say, IBM. So IBM is open for everyone. You can go. So it's a VDP. It's not a BBP program. VDP is vulnerability disclosure program where you give submit a bug, but you don't get money there. But here are multiple programs you can check through. What are wildcards? What are assets? What are domains? If you want to learn about mobile pen testing, hack with mobile pen testing or anything, you can use wildcards like start.com. So these are the open programs, and then you get, invitation from companies like, for example, this Sephora. They, invited me to do, a personal check for these vulnerabilities. I mean, their scopes. So how can you define it? Let's say I'm taking this one. I guess let's say this one. So this is a public program you can see, and for every program there is a scope defined. Scope is basically those assets you can hunt on, and if something is not included in the scope, you can't do that. So let's say these are the scopes. As a beginner, I will always suggest you to go with you know wildcard. I mean, if that's present there. Yeah, as you can see that this is the Watson group and their wildcard is this one, Watson.vn. And as you can see, it's already a wildcard in scope, and then there are severities for those assets. Till now, it just started. As you can see, no report has been resolved right now. So you can think about it later. So these are the scopes, and you should not go against any scope. Let's say you are finding any bug, and that is not included in the scope. So you should strictly avoid those scopes because of the ethical concerns, right? So this is the difference between a public and a private program. You will only get invite in private programs after uh, submit some bugs in public programs and get acknowledged, or some VDB programs. Now coming to the bug bounty and the pen test difference. So bug bounty is basically your own approach. Like I approach Microsoft as an independent security researcher. I find some bugs. I go to their research center and I put reports. For example, I'm just showing you an example. Let's say this is my uh, okay. So let's say this is my MSRC research portal, and I can create a report here. Uh, Alright, I don't want to show you anything, but yeah, I can create a report here. I will put that thing there and I'll discuss it properly. Like, what are the impacts, what are the internal assets, and the case point CVSs. We have to do it. Uh, Later we will discuss about the report writings. How can you assess them? How can you write them? So that is a totally different scenario, but for now, this is the case where, for pen test, you will get a time boxed, but in bug bounty, will obviously the process will be continuous and never ending. Like you want to start right now, you can start. You want to do it all night. You just, it's totally depending on you. And then these are compliance driven, you have to follow certain rules. Obviously these are also compliance driven, but only within the scope assets. So basically if there is a wildcard included, let's say start.google.com, you find lot of subdomains, you do whatever you want, but only let's say there are some excluded from the wildcard, you don't do it. But apart from that, the website is yours, do whatever you want. So this is the main goal, finding high impact vulnerabilities. And in, pen testing, you just have to find all the vulnerabilities. I mean, obviously you can go for low bugs also in bug bounty, but basically when we start, our, eyes should be on P1, P2, P3, all that. So now coming to the, I hope everyone is understanding how things are going on. Do you have any questions there till now? I guess no one has any question. Guys, do you have any questions till now? Did you understand my points all? Okay. Okay, then coming to the PPT, the golden rule. Okay. So coming to the legal and ethical issues, what are the golden rules? As I already mentioned, you have to strictly follow the scope. If the policy says that start dot example, do not touch the employee dot example. If it is exclusively, excluded, I mean, totally. No destruction. Obviously, you should not touch any database. You should not delete any logs. You should not download any data. Let's say you find an SQL injection and you got their total SQL. You should not download that, right? And then coming to the privacy first, stop at the first sign of PII. I mean, I very recently found a PII leakage uh, in Pine Labs, and I could get all the data that have been, I mean, all the payment data from Pine Labs till now, almost 60 to 65 CR data. Probably one of them was yours, but still, I didn't download it. I didn't dump it anywhere because that's against the policy. Now coming to the responsible disclosure. Obviously, as I mentioned here, so first you have to discover vulnerability. It will take time, you know, rigorous, implementation, and then understanding your asset, going through those certain topics and scopes every day, understanding how every business logic is working in the back end. These are the most important things for discovering. Then if you find a bug, just directly report them, and they will take some time to remediate. So now coming to the how the web works, right? So let's discuss. Do you know anyone does know about any website or architecture or anything? I mean, do you guys know about HTML, JS, React, or any interface or framework? That's great, Google. I mean, these things will help you uh, while when you go further with the web architecture. So this is a very simple network architecture, that is a client server architecture. We have basically clients, we want some resources from the server. We go there, we give some TCP IP connection there, we send some packets, we do handshakes. I guess three-way handshakes, people know about, little bit of network here. So we ask server, hey, I want some resources from you. They will check your details, like, yeah, you are properly doing everything. We can validate your resources, take that resource. So basically we are client, I mean browsers, initiate request, then server says, okay, I'm totally fine, take my resources, and they will create a HTTP request and response. So bug bounty happens in the middle. I mean, let's say man in the middle. I go to a website, I click on any link, it will automatically open. But in bug bounty, we are a middleman. We will check every instances, every details. to check whether there is any vulnerability in between. If I can manipulate the response and other things that I will show you in the later courses. So this is client server architecture. And now guys, do you have any knowledge about HTTP? So basically, if you have gone through networks and all other assets, yeah, great, great. HTTP. So HTTPS, these things are most important for bug bounty because most of the people are doing web or Android, So what is HTTP? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. We know the basic things, but what is it? It's a text-based stateless protocol. Now coming to the cases, it will be much better if I show you something here. So let's say this is my burp. I just opened it. I will share all the details and the processes through which you can download burp and start doing hunting and all. So I'm just giving you a basic example. I will discuss all the repeater collaborators. You can say everything. For now, let's just check one thing. Let's say I want to search anything. Let's say google.com. I want to search google.com. I'll just click automatically. I'm opening intercept. I'll discuss about it later. So basically, what is this intercept? If I'm discussing right now, I mean, let's say these are two walls, and here one guy is passing one details from as a middleman and then sending it to other resources. So whatever is happening in the backend, we can see that through this intercept. Let's say I click on google.com. It will create a request. And so basically what they are doing is, let's just stop intercept. Yeah, google.com open. So basically what is happening is, excuse me 1 minute. Yeah, this is how a request looks like. I mean, when you go to a website, you just search something and Google will give you the response back. But this is how it looks. Let's say there is a request header, and then there is a host. We'll discuss what is host, how can you manage that, what are these headers. I mean, how can you send a request, what are the responses, what are all those things we will gradually discuss. So coming to the slide back, a request is sent by client. As you can see, I clicked as a google.com, a request generated and it was sent to Google, containing your methods, URLs, headers, and body. Now coming back to the response that server sends you a response back that contains a status and then header and the body. And also there are some details about HTTP versions, like if we use HTTPS, I mean HTTP works on port 80, HTTPS works on port 443. These are basic concept of networks. Why S means HTTP secure, that is working on the TLS, I mean SSL layer. So transport layer security, and this helps basically through encryption, right? So I will discuss about how a HTTP request structure is working. So what is the anatomy? Let's say this one. There is a HTTP method like post, put, path. I mean there are different cases there. Get, then there is a host where you are trying to go to the server. So let's say sometime you search facebook.com or any mobile app, you click on Facebook, it will automatically generate a request that it's asking for the host Facebook. Then coming to the user agent, I mean what user agent you are currently using. For example, if you can check my user agent, that this is using Mozilla as a Windows system and Apple WebKit in the Chrome version. So this is a Chromium version, and this might be in this version, and these are all the data. What is user agent? And then there are some cookies that will connect with your session. Let's say you want to create an account. You create an account and you get some cookies that like CSRF tokens or SSRF tokens. So we'll discuss about what is CSRF. Basically, client side resource. tokens. And then there are cookies that are connected to your certain SSIDs like session IDs, then some PIDs probably, I mean presentable IDs, or some UUIDs, I mean unique user IDs. As you can see here, I got a SSID, created when I tried to log in, I mean log in, or maybe ask data from Google. So these are the requests, these are the cookies, and we can check that there might be empty lines, star r star n, that we'll discuss later because it's a high consent concept. And there might be some cookies where you will use session IDs. There will be some login endpoints where you can put your username, admin, and then password. So these details will be shown. You can check it like with Portswigger Labs or some test PHP labs. And then there are methods, right? So there are multiple methods. For example, get. When you use get, it will just receive data directly. It will render through your uh, you know uh, pages. Then there are post data that will find when you will do bug bounty. So basically, let's say you are submitting any data, or you are trying to create some API handlings from the back end, some parameters on the body, let's say post API user. And post is very helpful in finding vulnerabilities. Let's say, sorry, let's say API user, and let's say there is a parameter post API user, and then let's say v2, and you are getting all the data with proper authorization. We will discuss about the authorization and authentication. But let's say when you don't have any access, but still you are using v1 as a user and you don't have any cookie, and still they are giving you the response back without any authorization, like without giving 401, they are giving 200. So that will also be a scenario where there will be vulnerability existing. So then there are other cases like put, where you put a data, like you post something in a website, or you want to upload a file. That there might be differences for like file uploading vulnerabilities, or some cell code bypass vulnerability where we use put. And there are patches also that gives an update. Let's say you are creating an account, and let's say you are creating, and all the data is stored there, and you want to change your name from, let's say, user 1 to user 2. So you just click on user 1 to user 2 and change. When you submit, it will create maybe a post or a patch option to update the data. And then delete, basically deleting resources. So let's say you are creating a post in Instagram, and then you want to delete that post, so it will create a delete request from the HTTP backend. So yeah, we'll discuss about it going through live for every scenarios. But as it's a basic course, we'll discuss all those things later. But for now, I will discuss what are the HTTP request response and all. Do you have till now any question? Sure. Guys, do interact. I mean, that will be very helpful.
Yeah, not only for you, also, other participants may have doubt and hesitant to ask. Feel free, as this is completely, community driven program. If you take training center or colleges, the gap between student and professor, or trainer and student in the institute, that creates barrier asking dumb questions. Don't feel anything dumb or invalid question. Feel free to share your question, as well as, if you think anywhere you need any additional help. For example, one particular area was not clear, put that in the question. We'll try to provide additional resources or guidance how you can get through such critical concept. As bug bounty and pen testing is not everyone's interest area, right? So you may listening first time, there are terminologies maybe new to you. Feel free to share your experience, as well as in case you need further help, please ask over the chat. The impact is important. When you go out of all 4 sessions, at least you must know how to start your journey in the bug bounty program or pen testing.
Right. So we'll discuss later, and if you guys have any queries, please feel free to ask. This is just the overview as a slide. We will discuss about all those concepts later in the back end, and I will even give you some live examples also, like how can you approach them, what will be your thought process, what will be the methodologies and all. So let's and about the CVs that we'll discuss later, like we'll discuss about how Sodan works, how reconnaissance works, how visual recon is the most important thing and all. So then there is a HTTP response request structure, I mean anatomy. So there might be a protocol version, right? Status code, like I believe people do know about status code, like 200 and then 300 if there's a redirect, 400 if the client response is in the problem, then 500 if the server doesn't respond or there might be some issues. Guys, do you know what is 429? Anyone, guys? Yeah, it's a topic for heavy person and bug bounty, maybe step for each. Yeah, sure, got your point. Okay. So yeah, we started this course thinking that everyone should start from basic, but at least have a little bit knowledge with networks. But no issues if you guys have I mean not much experience for with networks. I should give you all the resources there. I mean we have a week before that. If you have any questions, you can directly ask, and we'll use all the references here. I really want all of you to get motivated here. Like I want to do something different. Like everyone is doing bug cyber security and other aspects, but for me bug bounty helped me a lot to build confidence. I'm working as a senior privacy engineer, even though the I did have no confidence before, but when I came to bug bounty, I got to understand there are multiple things I need to explore. I mean, when I started seeing like Jason Haddix and other people like Namsek, it fascinated me. So I believe if you really want to start doing bug bounty or any security cases, you should have the motivation or the fire inside you that yeah, I have to do it. I don't know. I believe this is my passion, this is my love, and I will do it. So that's all. So about three, we'll share every details here. All the resources here will help you. If you have any question, you can ask me after the classes. Yeah. Then coming to the HTTP structure, response, and anatomy. So basically, uh, so coming back to the request, we want to search something in Google, right? Why not doing it like let's do it. Let's say this is the Google page that we see every day, and let's say I want to do something like let's say I want to search Microsoft. Right? I click on Microsoft. I am asking something from the Google, that hey Google, I want Microsoft. Let's say something is there for Microsoft or not, but I will send it to repeater. Yeah, these are the queries. So this is the repeater case. So I'm searching something from Microsoft and in Google, and these are the resources that I want to find from Google. No worries. Yeah, give me 1 minute, guys. Yeah. So let's say this was the request I was asking to Google. If I search Microsoft here, so I searched something. This was my request as a get, alright. And there was a search query that we found. I mean, we see this every day. I searched for Microsoft, right? I can search anything from here. Like instead of Microsoft, I can say Google and they will give the details about Google. And now I sent a request that I want to search all those things. Like as I already discussed, there will be what was the structure. So there will be a first HTTP method, get, post, put, anything. Then there will be the host that I'm searching something from Google. Then there will be cookies that are associated with that certain user, and you don't have to think about all those right now. There are multiple cases where like CORS, cross origin resource. So these are a little bit of, you know, a little bit of advanced courses, but we'll discuss this and we'll share all the references. So let's say here I searched for Microsoft in Google, and Google said, yeah, I got your response and you are a valid user. We'll send you the details. Now there are some use cases for like content type. So I search something with text, and they will give me a text by HTML reply, and then some character set. These are like UTF-8, and we'll discuss about all those later. Then there is, do you guys know about CSP, content security policy? Anyone? Yeah, you are right. 429 is too many requests. Rate limit. Yeah, obviously header files. So guys, please interact. I mean, if you guys don't know, you can obviously say that I don't know, I want to know and all. Okay, sure, got your point. So content security policy is a, you know, process. It's let's say a wall within a server that will help that server protecting from hackers. Let's say I want to use some null bytes. I mean, this is again going some critical concepts. I mean, let's say we use XSS, cross-site scripting. We put malicious codes there, and the content security policy will first check that is this thing coming from the certain resources. If not, they will strictly reject that. For example, check this, that these are object secure, non-base URL, and script SRC. I mean, SRC means source. These are only giving all those tunnel backs to the source. I mean, from Google, within Google. They are not performing any details from a hacker's perspective, because the origin will be same. Let's say, let me check. Is there anything? Yeah. So they are fetching any details from this security perspective, that whatever you are asking me, you will ask me within a sandbox. I mean, let's say uh, a secure box where I'm putting something, and I am feeding the response inside that box. I'm not taking this outside of the box. So this is what the same origin and content security looks like. We'll discuss about it. So these are basically the anatomies, these are payloads. Let's take about the payloads. So these are all headers. And then coming to the discussion, this will be a HTML page. This big HTML page will be ultimately rendered. And what will be the rendered page? Let's just see. There's nothing for now. So these will be as HTTP and HTTPS, hypertext transfer protocol. What they are transferring? HTML. So, so these are the headers. Basic structure is these are the headers, and there are some extra payloads there. So what is this? These are the payloads. I mean, the data they are giving back. There are other aspects. You don't need to learn about all those right now, but you should gradually. So this is the anatomy. Then coming to the status codes, like as we have discussed, like 200, 200, okay, 201. Let's say you want to create an account. You create something. Let's say you put your details and you want to create sign up. You created your account 201 created in the server backend. So let's say you're putting a name Subham and password ABCD at the 1234. You created an account and your account got created there. And then coming to the 300. 300 is basically redirection. There might be cases where 301 is moved permanently. Let's say a website uh, is hosted, and sometimes later the developers deleted it. All right, and they moved the every details to a different location. So it can be understood like I have opened a shop. I started working there, and then suddenly my shop, I had to close my shop from some location to others. So just to let people know, I will share the details that my location is not currently in A, this is currently in B. So these things will redirect to a different website. I am showing you right now. Let's say people sometime open google.com, for example. Coming here, we'll discuss about it. Let's say I want to search something in google.com. I am not using something in www.google.com. So let's say I click here. See, my host is not www.google.com. I am sending this to repeater, right? Coming back here, this will say, we used to have google.com, but right now we are working under www, World Wide Web. So we'll send it. It will say that, we used to use Google, but right now the document has been moved to, as you can see, www.google.com. So what website will do? It will automatically redirect you from google.com to www.google.com. So it's a permanent move, means they are no longer using that google.com. But there might be some cases like 307. Let's say I'm opening this shop, I had to leave this place for like 1 to 2 months. I will relocate my shop in some other places for temporary time, that then we can use 307 or other cases. So for example, let's say if we click on follow redirection, will go to a 200 response. It's already sending, and this is where the data is coming, www.google.com. I hope you guys understood the points. Okay, now coming back to the case, I believe you should read about all those things. These are very important and critical cases where you have to understand what internal server error is, what 503 server unavailable is, because there might be cases where you can use DOS attacks and some 404 not found. There might be multiple cases where some S3 buckets, if you know about S3, these are basically AWS storage buckets where you can put the data. I have also found multiple cases in HP, Microsoft, where the data, there was no bucket existing, but it was existing to a different CNAME. So I found that I can take over this. I created Azure account, put the same Azure website.net or some S3s there, something.s3 amazon aws.com. Then 401 unauthorized. Let's say you want to you know as an attacker, our first priority should be account takeover. I try to take over someone else's account, and I put a little bit of details, like in case of IDOS, indirect object reference, I put someone else's details, and I don't have their cookie. So the server will say, hey, wait, you are not that client that I was thinking about. Let's say you put someone else's account password. So we'll say, hey, you are not that person. Will not give you any authorization there. So this is how 401 occurs. 400 bad requests. Let's say a website is having a HTTP2 response point, and then somehow you like this one. Let's say this is HTTP. This is working on some protocols. So HTTP is basically a protocol. Now, the let's say HTTP2 is a newer version, and I put some malformed HTTP1. I don't know, maybe it work or not. Yeah, so it's working, but it's gradually changing it. But in many cases, there will be options where you put the details, and they are telling no, you can't use that. I mean, you have to strictly use HTTP 2 protocol. Then there will be some malformed 400 bad request that also can generate. We will do all those in all those live. So before that, I will come up to cookies and then I will stop here. Yeah, basically common HTTP headers. I already discussed. What is host? You are asking resources from the website. So host is that certain specific website you are requesting data, like specific domain name of the server. Then user agent we already discussed. What are the identify? I mean something that identifies the client software. I'm using Mozilla or I'm using Safari. I'm using Chrome, the OS, the browser, the versions. Like as you can see, I was using 119, I guess. Yeah, 119. So these are the details that you can find. Then there are some refers like indicate the address of the web page which link to the resource of being reused. Like how the refer works is I came from google.com. I mean, let's say I go to the request bag. I searched for google.com and I wanted to, here is also no refer, but there will be refer when I will, go to the moved body and where, let's say I send it again, I find a follow redirection. It will tell me that, I came from this website. So this was the reference previously used, right? And then there are the authorization. You want to create an account, you put your ID and password, then maybe your ID and password request gives a proper response with an authorization JWT token. I mean barrier tokens. So what is authorization? Basically, when you want to go to a website, you put your certain details like this is my ID, this is my password, I am an authorized person, I can take I can log into that account. They will first check and verify, yeah, your ID is right, your password is right. They will create a barrier token there. I mean, maybe it's a CSRF, SSRF, barrier token, or some, I mean, barrier token, or some anything, any token that is only linked to your session ID or some session tokens. So this will correlate with your session. I mean, the whole scenario until you log out. So this will give a session and you will log in with that session. I mean, proper authorization. And if you don't have authorization, they will give a 401. Yeah, I mean, you're not authorized like that. So then coming to the cookies, I already explained you there. There might be some session cookies like temporary. You are creating a session, you log in, and when your device, I mean, when you log out, the whole session will be terminated, deleted. But there might be some persistent token like they have some max ages. I mean, this session has this type of timing. Let's say they create a session ID or some cookies that will work for only 1 hour. I mean, 3600 seconds. There might be some cases where this will work for like 2 days, 13 days. So that will be also written like max age. You can check it out here. Let's see if there is anything or not. Until now, there is no nothing. But yeah, there might be some cases where the token will be there. Yeah, as you can see. So there will be a GDS token that will be for this long time, max age. Then cache control, there might be no max age. So do you guys have uh, any question right now? Anything till now? Give me one minute. Yeah, we'll start a session after 5 to 10 minutes. Please take your time. I mean, if you have any question, you can ask me here.
Everyone, this is for bio break we planned for after an hour. So considering everyone focusing on the system, so take your time and short break, relax and come back around. We'll start around 3 p.m. exactly. Yeah, thank you.
So let's come to the slides from 21. So this is the introduction course. Right now I can't give you all the details, right? I mean, if I want to, teach you about HTTP, it will take almost like 4 to 5 hours from understanding each and every aspect, each and every header, and there might be other headers that we don't even know, and we get it from the resources from online and understanding how things work, like X forwarded request, and there are multiple cases like using other origins for cross origin resource sharing. So these are there, so we'll discuss about it later. uh, then coming to the slide 21. Hey guys, are you ready? We can start, right? Please interact, that will be helpful for me also. Yeah, sure, let's go. So about the cases that I already discussed, there might be different cookies, for example HTTP only. uh, Here you can see, you don't need to right now understand each and everything because there might be a lot of scenarios uh, in an HTTP only. There might be different cases like secure cross origin resource sharing, and then same site I already showed you, like same site should be origin, not from other resources. So what are HTTP only? Prevent JavaScript, I mean accesses, cross-site scripting payloads from accessing the cookie. Like these are very crucial for session IDs. I mean, let's say so you have some certain accesses payloads and it gets you to the session tokens. Let's say there is a authenticated user, you send a mail request to them, and the accesses pop-ups, cross-site scripting pop-ups. So we can get the data and token from them, and with that we can use that same cookie. For the unauthenticated user, I'm getting your cookies, I'll take your cookies and log in as your profile, so that should not be present there. Then there are some secure cookies that are solely connected. I mean, ensure the cookies only transmitted over encrypted HTTPS connection. I mean, HTTPS. S means secure. Then same site that I already discussed, like controls whether cookies are sent with a cross-site request, help prevent CSRF attacks. CSRF attacks are basically cross-site resource forgery. Let's say there are multiple cases where you create a HTML page, malicious HTML page, I send it to you. Let's say your Google account has a name Subham, and I have already created a malicious payload where I will change your user ID, I mean sorry, username, to something different, let's say victim. And when I click that, it will create a pop-up internally without any authorized, if the same site cookie token is not there. So it will create a problem there in the backend, and backend without validating it will directly send it as victim. Change the name or change the details or address or email, everything that is possible. So that is attack called CSRF. We will discuss about OWASP top 10. Now coming to the sessions and tokens. So sessions are basically stateful. Stateful in the sense you try to log into a certain account. Some session cookies will be generated as see you can. So they will already giving it to state cookies as states. I mean set cookies. There might be cases where HTTP set location or directly set location process or something like where the new cookies will be directed. You put let's say here you put some like admin password, and then you put it password and it will create some cookies for use like CSRF tokens or some UUID tokens or that. like as you can see, there are some HTRP tokens here, like some domains that are connected to some AEC token. So these are the tokens that will may expire, as you can see, expire Thursday. All these details you have to find it very clearly. And these are, stateful. Stateful means the server creates the session ID, not us, and it stores the user data in memory or database. For example, client sends a cookie, server looks up the ID and find the user. Let's say there might be RIB, or let's say some presentable IDs present or persistent IDs. So let's say they know that these are the CSRF tokens for exactly Subham's account. I am getting that session. Until the session gets cut, I will hold up to that session. I will, let's say I'm sending the session, saying that, hey, my session is ABCD. You just created that session when I put my ID password. So they will validate, yeah, I have given this person ABCD and it's still under that timing. Let's say the session has a timing of 5 to 6 hours. Let's say 6 hours. So if you're searching something within 6 hours, they will still create the states that, yeah, this session is already present there. It is in a state. We'll definitely find it and we'll check it that, yeah, the user is valid. But in case of JWT, JSON Web Tokens, these are stateless. As I was already discussing about the bearer tokens, so why not showing you? So let's say, I don't know which companies are using bearer. But let's say something, my account, let's say site as star dot with google.com. So let's say there might be a small business account, small business site, and then I go to the proxy, I create intercept as a MITM. I want to check what is happening there. And yeah, as you can see, already my account is logged in, right? So, if I want to open my account, I didn't yet click there. Click on intercept again, click on there. I will send it to repeater. I'll check it forwarder. Just give me 1 minute, I will show you everything. Yeah, let's see there is any account connected to that or not. Yeah. So as you can see, is there any JWT tokens right now? I don't think so, but we can always search. Let's see is there something? Exactly. Guys, I have to, restore it to default and just leave it. Thing I have to, what I want to do is display. I hope these are very clear to you. Yeah, right now, there might be some value token. Just give me a minute so that I can show you. Is there any value token? I think there is one. Not this one. Okay, let's see.
Or you can visit JWT.io as Google pointed on the chat. You can go to jwt.io website. There will be example. You can intercept.
Yes. So basically, they are creating a stateless token. For example, let's say this one, it will create a response there. and there might be some UUIDs or data present in that token, and this will create give the response back to the only case that you have these SIDs or so session token or session IDs exactly related to that EYJ that is stateless. I mean, these are not stored in database. These are, client sends a token, server verifies signature and trust data. I believe some of people know about, web tokens for like, some PGP keys or some hashes that are connected to them. So these are working similar to as a stateless. Then coming to the authentication flows. So these are basically same things. What is the difference between authentication and authorization? These are all related to this. So authentication and authorization are very in-depth concept by but I wanted to show you some cases like authentic where credential based. So basically there are type of authentication you should understand, because OAuth misconfiguration is one of the most found vulnerabilities in the market right now. I mean, after OWASP 20, top 10 changed for 2025. So authentication OAuth flow is very good. So in case of credential based, credentials means your user ID and password. Let's say any website that is vulnerable to brute force. Do you guys know about brute force? Okay, so basically let's say you create an account. Okay. Maximum time there are rate limits present. But let's say you are creating an account and the website is showing OTP like 155250. Or let's say only 4-digit OTP like 8319. And then we use that OTP and we try to brute with 00002 9999, and let's say one of them gets correct, and this time they are giving the whole entire session with the OTP. So we know the OTP and we can use the brute force. So that's it, that's a process. But brute force is we can't find brute force this, I mean we can, but definitely people have changed, their website architecture have changed, so there are rate limits present there. So after sending only 10 to 12 20 requests, you sometimes I guess feel that like you want to reset password, and after 10 to 15 requests your website says we can't do that, there are too many requests, we won't be able to send you, try it after 1 hour or 5 hours, something like that. So this is present as a rate limit to prevent brute force, right? Then there are multi-factor authentication. Everyone knows about MFA. Let's say you want to sign in, you have to put your authenticator, or like definitely I guess most of the people use authenticator or some known pass, something like that. Like in case of GitHub or using anything, we use MFA. Then coming to the SSO and OAuth. So Google G Suite is a SSO, right? Login with Google, and then SSO means so what is OAuth is when you try to create an account, right, and open a website, it will directly say like account.google.com, then giving a OAuth that will having a again stateless JWT token or bearer token. It will create some backend updation as a state. You will understand that stateful, stateless, and then what are the state case scenarios, how the states are parsing with backend. So basically they will fetch every data that yeah, this is the authenticated user, he has authorization for this certain account, and now he can log in and he use, I mean, YouTube or uh, anything like anything related to Google spreadsheet or whatever related to Google. So this is called SSO. And there are some examples of OAuth review. I don't, I'm like, I'm not expecting you guys to understand what is OAuth. I mean, definitely if you can, that will be a great thing. But just understand the common flow is, user clicks like login with Google. It will redirect to Google. users consent is asked. Let's say you say you see something sometimes, like there is a website called having a sign up, but you don't want to sign up putting all the details, then email, then password. So you directly go sign in with Google. You click on Google, right? It will redirect you to Google, and they will ask the user to consent. Will you give all the permission for this account? You say okay, I can do that. Then Google will directly redirect back with the code, and there might be some app exchange codes for access tokens. So yeah, so that is the whole scenario. You are sending some request action, they will verify the client, they will give user consent, then return the access token. I will share this PDF with you guys later. Then this requires a resource like yeah, I just gave my provision and validated token, so validate this. They will validate the token over server, and then they will validate and say yeah, the user is authenticated and he has full authorization of this account, so give him all the resources. So they will give the resources back to them, right? Now about authorization, like privilege. So basically understanding, do you guys know about access control? Yeah, Kuldeep, thanks. You are helping a lot. Do you guys know about access control? Okay, adjust the mechanism. So basically, access controls are there for every users. I mean, if there is a login or any session there, in most of the cases they will have access to some certain case points. For example, let's say I'm a guest. I want to just check what is happening in the backend. So I will maybe an option to just read, go through. Let's say there's some public data available. Let's say, and in any website there's a upload folder, and I'm in upload redirectory, and I am uploading some details, and I check them, and there is some public data. I can only read them. A proper, I mean, as a guest, a proper user, let's say, who doesn't have that much access control, they will have only read or some write, but not execute. But let's say I'm admin, I have the whole authorization of that website, so I can open it, I read, I can write, I can put update all the CRUD operations. So authentication just created for login. Authorization is for your account, certain permissions. So let's say I'm a user, I'm admin. If I have admin access, I can do anything. Let's say database administrator, so I have full control over database. Now there are some ways to related to this vulnerability. So that is one business logic flaw, where I can get access to some user role to admin role by through privilege escalation. So escalation is basically getting the access as a privileged one from a normal user to admin. So there might be some cases present like horizontal, like using users base data, and then there are vertical, that is regularly becoming an admin. Now coming to the IDOR. So I'm just going through the basic concepts. So I don't wanna put something there. Let's say I can show you one. Wait. Yeah. So this was used before. So basically, let's say there was a website, right? I'm showing you my report only, so no other else's report. So there was a user endpoint where there was API profiles and some IDs related to that profile, right? And the endpoint was giving this one, like profile, what was the actor ID, I mean user ID. Let's say I have given the name like attacker POC, there was one alias, then there was some locations related to this, like some ID, then latitude and longitude, uh, and then others, some other details like emails and all. And when I change the data, this was a very easy IDOR. I mean, there are much higher concepts for existing as an IDOR. But yeah, so these are the very basic cases where I just changed the user ID and they gave me the profile, the name, other details were concluded. I can't share you the rest of the details, but yeah, this was the case. I hope you guys understand. So it got resolved as a medium. There are multiple other cases where I found the IDOR. I mean, I can show you that in ESV hack. Just like I can show that to you. I mean, the vulnerability is fixed, so I can show. Let's just. Would you guys like to check, or we can continue with the process?
I think this kind of disclosure not exist anywhere. No textbook, nowhere people will disclose. As you have reported, if you
No,
have handy Shubham, yeah, feel free to share it with them. That will motivate them. How to report a vulnerability disclosure in an ethical way, get bounty, right? So
like
definitely that would help the community. But as long as the respective organization allowed you to share your report.
I said, the report has been resolved. I
All
mean,
right,
like 1 to 2
yeah.
months ago.
All
Yeah.
right, then you can, yeah, share it.
I mean, I can share all those things with you guys later. I mean, what I can do is, without sharing my report, I can show you this one that I'm sharing this, with you guys. Uh, so this is a GitHub repo where you will find every details of the top 10 overs and top 10 details and everything related to that, like the recent updates from IDO secondary class user to all the reports. You can just go here, right? And you will find every details how things are working, some HackerOne reports related to that. And I will definitely encourage people who are, trying to get into this bug bounty. You just have to do only one thing, just read as much details as possible. You will understand gradually. Reading almost 100 reports for this IDOR will definitely help you to understand the basic concepts of how IDOR works. And similarly for every cases like accesses, like privilege escalation, do that. Just study. Like Alice changes the ID from 1001 to 1002 to check the data of the Bob. That's the basic clear concept, but go in depth. That is what I want to tell you. So now coming to the SOPs. So basically SOPs are same origin policy that I already showed you. These are the basic concept you have to learn to visually recon things. Like when you open a website, you check something like access control allow origin. There is a header and it will give the exact like uh, google.com. And let's say there are some data in the backend that is giving back some important very crucial PII data, and let's say we change the origin to some different random, let's say malicious or evil.com, and it is showing in the response that the server is giving back another response as evil.com. So it shouldn't be there, right? If I have that access as a cross origin resource, so I will check, I will fetch the data of any user, and that will be a wrong scenario, right? So these are the things that you have to understand gradually. I mean, you can't expect to learn everything in just one case. So then coming to the SOPs, it prevents a malicious site from reading the data. I mean, if it's not trusted, you won't give the power to do that. Then CORS that I already explained, like access control allow origin. And if we find that, you can check it in host header injection. Uh, I mean, SOPs are strictly related to that. If I see that, access control allow origin is present there with a star or certain websites, I mean, it's giving all the case scenarios where, access control allow policies or, allow credentials. There might be details that are present there. So this is not what we expect as a, security researcher, but as a bug bounty hunter, that will be a jewel for us. Now coming to the browser dev tools. I believe everyone knows about browser dev tools. I mean, you guys have used browser dev tools, right? Guys, did you ever use any browser dev tools? So just to let you guys know, there is some options called inspect, and there is your browser dev tool. You can do many things from here, like from changing the structure, perception to like let's say network. You go to a uh, restarting everything, and you will get every details here, how things are working, what are the headers, and without bubsuit you can do all these things here also, as you can see there. These are the content, then there are some cookies present, then cross origin resource sharing this, then there are cross-site scripting protections, then some authority, like what methods they used, what were the request headers, what were the cookies connected to those website, right? Then what are the DNTs, match users, user agents, user fetch, and everything is present there. You just have to understand how things are working. What are the responses? Are you just getting a simple response as a HTML? So whatever this is written, it's written here in the HTML. So the page that got rendered is exactly present here. So yeah, you have to understand all the elements, how console is working. We can do different type of cross-site scripting here. So now coming to the these things like elements, network, applications that I already showed you. You can check it out from here. Then coming to the steps, just open Firefox, double click in your right side, right click, and then open network. It will give some examples how things are working, what are the log files, and you can check out each and every request whenever a website is, opening. Goal is to identify status code and server. Yeah, that I already explained. Then there are some process like strict transport security and then X content types. I think these are very crucial. I think what we can do is between these 6 to 7 days, I think we can give you some resources to study about all those things. That will be very helpful in the meantime. And then coming to the Kali Linux, I think everyone knows about Kali Linux. If you really want to come to bug bounty, Linux will definitely help you. Guys, how many people have Kali Linux? Have you ever used Kali Linux or any Linux like even Ubuntu or Parrot? Great, great, great. So Linux is basically a distro, not an OS. You just use it properly with some tools present there, like same as burp suit, other post exploitation. These are for security cases, pen testing. But you have to be very specific with the tools, how things are working, how backend is working. All those things are related to that. So you can, I mean, very sorry, I can, but so you have to install all the git commands and git repositories. When I started bug bounty, I was also a script kiddie. I used to just download random scripts in my terminal, and then I gradually used to just run all the shorten commands or all the IPs without even understanding what things are happening. But right now, what you can do is you just, let's say, a very recent CV, got published. I guess I had, let's say CV 2025. I guess everyone heard about React to Sell. This is a very critical bug. And there are some people who uploaded this CV. What you can do is, instead of studying just randomly clicking it, cloning it, you should understand packaging is happening, or what things are working, how things are working, what Python server. If you search for, let's say, POC, uh, uh, every time there will be a new POC. Let's say this one. There will be some next JSON, TS config JSON. You should study about how things are working, why this is happening, what are the details, how the digest works, what are the next JS actions. You should understand. You should study about all those things. But definitely, as a beginner, do work as a script kiddie. I'll definitely 100% support you, because these things will definitely help you understand how things are working, and I mean motivate you when you will get your first bug. It will be very wonderful, to experience. So just do it. Just do. That's all. That's what I want to tell you. For installing Kali, what you have to do is, I believe the people who don't have Kali, just come here. I will share again all the resources. I'll better suggest you to use a VM, but if you want to do it as a dual boot, you can do so. But just for the VM, go there, click on recommended. And if you have VMware or VirtualBox or Hyper-V anything, just click on download and it will get downloaded. When it will download, there will be an option for connecting it directly to the VirtualBox. And this is a very easy process. I think people who didn't install Kali Linux, I will share the resources and the videos if you have any problem with that. All right. And about the bug suit also, I will share them with you. How can you download and how can you check? So basically, Kali is a Debian-based Linux distribution aimed at advanced pen testing. Obviously, everyone loves Kali. Then there are file system like for Windows we use NTFS and other FAT32, but here the file is ext. I mean exe files. I mean extf files, or other files also related to that. I mean directory, there are some certain commands and tools you should know as a hacker, like everyday use, that is a root folder, like your home or root user. Then the user stands for, like, let's say you have 2 to 3 users for different scenarios. You can change the users as same as Windows. Then there are endpoints for etc. I mean you can check for etc, like etc password is etc host, where all the configuration files are present. Then var log means variable log files, where all your logs are stored. Then bin for binaries and programs. If you, let's say, get into a website and you find home user, or let's say etc shadow, that will be a very crucial case for you. You might find a RC, remote code execution. I mean I found recently, and that's a great thing. I mean, now coming to the cell is basically you are using Kali or root user. I mean the cell is basically CLI. Whatever you are doing in the GUI version, I mean graphical user interface, if you change it using command, that is CLI, command line interface. And these are the some everyday used to mm, cases you need to understand. For example, CD for path to directory, I mean command directory, I am change directory. Then PWD is what like directory you are right now. And cat is a way to check what files are there. Let's say cat something abcd.txt or anything, even it's not a text, it doesn't matter. Then chmod is basically change modification. I mean giving the power, as I have already discussed about access control. So you will understand basically instead of chmod plus x, I mean giving random power to any tool, you can do is understand how things are working total. What are the values for read, write, and execute? I guess execute for one, read for two, and I mean write for two and read for three. So total 7 points. So plus X means understanding user group and the owner. I think you should study about how access control works. Then LS is list files. LA means even all with details. A means details, right? And then grep command is basically used as a pipeline to search something. Sudo su is super user do, so you will get a privilege. So these are the everyday commands you need to understand for using any Linux, I mean Debian distro. I guess you guys are understanding. Yeah, right, sir. So now coming to the security tool categories, like frankly speaking, Nmap is not used anymore. In I mean, Nmap is used. I can't say Nmap is a great tool, but for bug bounty, Nmap is not needed. I mean, not at all. You definitely need Nmap, but bug bounty scenarios are changing. Heavily. Have you ever heard about the company named Xbo? Okay, guys, please respond. Have you ever heard about Xbo? So you know, I'm telling you this because Expo for now is a AI that is taking the place of a hacker. Let's say Expo hacker online. If you check, Expo is a AI agent working as a bug hunter, and you can't even believe that this is doing great. I mean, can you see that? Like, AI is working this heavily, and it's already in a good situation. Plus, it's having a reputation more than me in just 2 to 3 months, and it's right now in number one in US. So our AI is doing all those things. So as a individual bug bounty hunter, you have a lot of competition to start with. So that's why in this course, in the later courses, I will discuss about only those tools that will be very much helpful for you. Automate, then manual visual recon, and these things will help you a lot. So, for example, project discovery. This is a great tool with different templates. Well, if you guys want, I will have a session only for project discovery, how to hunt assets, how to understand things, how to check the inventory, how to find CVs with the templates. So that will be a great scenario for that. Like, there are templates present. You can create templates for that. I think this will be very helpful. If you guys want, I can create a different session for project discovery only. Then there are web application for like Bubsuit is the only tool I use, but I don't use Nikto. But OWASP is a good tool. Then there are exploitations for Metasploit, SQL Map, Hydra. But in real life, apart from SQL Map and other some XSS tools, in real life, Metasploit is not used in bug hunting. I mean, if you find a very old a website or PHP where the reverse TCP is present then there might be a case. But apart from that, Metasploit doesn't use. We don't use Metasploit anymore. Now coming to the Bubsuit that I already showed you, I will tell you that Bubsuit is the MITM case. You can also use other tools also like MITM processes and all. But I don't think you should use MITM because Bubsuit is basic structure. You can always start with the community edition. You can find that link. I will share every link with you. Just go to the Bubsuit and download the community edition. Put your email and we'll start working with community. That's all. That's great. Now let's just. I will share the links and the YouTube videos for the reference if you have any problem with downloading. Now coming to the Bubsuit interface, you can check that this is the dashboard where all the details they will give you the examples like there might be some issues that found email address disclosed. So these are actually not that much effective, but definitely you might find something great. Like these are the not transport security policies not present properly. Then this is the case where you will put the targets, like can put a scope. You can define a scope. Let's say I want to only find google.com. I can scope out things. I can put like let's say I don't want 400, 500, 200. I only want 200, then I can change it. Let's say I can change it. Yeah, so all the 400 and 300 websites were gone. Now coming to the proxy there so intercept is basically the main option. When I send some a data to other, it will act as a man in the middle. It will stop the request from sending into server. So server will wait until the MIT, I mean man in the middle changes the request. So that is intercept that will help you. Then coming to the repeater. Repeater is basically when I find something in the live intercept, I send it to repeater to check how the HTTP request is working, how the response is giving, what are the different scenarios that is happening through that HTTP request. Right, so this is helpful for repeater. I guess you can't use collaborator in the free version, community version. Collaborator is just a tool to get follow back like DNS, HTTPS, SMTP. That's all. And then there is intruder. Intruder will help you, you know, do brute forcing. Changing one data to other, and giving rate limits that can help. Intruder can be used in other scenarios also. I'll discuss it one by one in the next courses, in depth, and I will also share some recommendation through which you can understand how Bub's actually working. So there are different proxies that I already told you about the proxy, then the HTTP history. Basically, HTTP history is where the data that you found is stored in one place. Okay. Then the okay. Uh, I have used the HTTP request here. As you can see, there was one website where I put a request and I send it to repeater, and I checked the recent 55182 where the proto option was open and it was giving me an LFI. So yeah, that's present there. Then there was the intruder where I used some payloads. It generated payloads, and as you can see, it was in pinepg.in. It got resolved. So through which I could get all the data of all the users. I mean, the people who ever used, Pine Labs, even in your KFC, in your Domino's, in your any case like you are putting an EMI. I believe you have seen the green boxes there in every shop. So you scan. Yeah, there is a Kaido. Kaido is a great tool. You can do whatever you want. You can even use MITM proxy, because I also use sometime MITM proxy, as you can see. Yeah, I also use sometime MITM proxy. You can do whatever tool you want, but Bobsuit is the industry standard. Kaido is also doing great. I mean, you can obviously go with Kaido. So yeah, now the Buffalo, configure browser. You can create a Foxy proxy to connect with your browser. Like just go to any web store like Chrome Web Store or Mozilla Web Store, download the BUP and install the certificates, and you will get a BUP running. But now I just directly use open browser. I have other VMs where I use uh, you know properly. Now coming to the hands-on intercept, let's see. Uh, these are the only cases you have to open. Like I already showed you in the first case, I mean NCO Foxy proxy, or you can directly open this browser and then check the burps. You get something in the proxy, send it to intercept, then intercept is off, check it to a repeater, and you will get. I have shown you everything, right? So then there is a modifying request in proxy tab. You can click it forward, and you can, let's say, how can you do that? Okay. So how can you live check and modify? Let's say this is the proxy. I want to open the intercept as a man in the middle. Let's say I open this. A website is opening. So there might be a response manipulation. So how can I tell that? Let's say this is a website where I'm putting admin ID password, and the password is different from the password that is stored in the database. So let's say it is giving me a response back as 500, or let's say 400, that the data bad request, or you are unauthorized. Let's say in the live response I change it to HTTP 200, okay, and there might be cases like step 0, I mean if the account is not there, or you can change the response to 1. That what it will help is, it will think that the response is not manipulated by any user, it's directly coming from the server, I mean client. So there won't be any problem, even the server will say, so the response is from the server. So if I send it the server directly, that server will verify that okay, I just gave it's a fine request. I mean I can explain it by showing you, I mean I can't explain it through these way, but yeah, definitely it will help you later. Okay. And yeah, I came here until now. So basically, our today's section was, going how things are working. As you can see, I mean, I don't want to showcase how things are working as a monetary uh, explanation, but rather, think it as a challenge, fun. I mean, when I started, I used to get like 20, 30, 40, 50 bug, $50 for each bug. But right now, I mean, by the help of God, I mean doing, I mean not just, I mean not great, but yeah, I'm doing something, and I'm happy where I'm right now. Yeah, so basically you have to think like at okay, you have to understand, you have to read, you have to go through all the things. I will share everything in the group. Sir will share, I will forward everything. So I just wanted to say that there might be some cases where you will get bounty, sometimes you will get duplicate, sometimes you may not. Just for the motivation, I'm going to show you how many let's say bucks. So these are the, I mean, there are other companies where reports are not there, but these are the companies where I, tried to hack. For example, HP, and then Microsoft, and then Morales, Intel, AT&T, Amazon, Apple, Google, Sony, Samsung, Shopify, SmartSet, Socotec, T-Mobile, Tata, Spotify, WatchGuard, WNS, Plus. So the list goes on, but the thing is, you have to understand how things are working, right? I mean, you can't just sit and wait for some bugs to come. You have to understand how things are working. You have to understand how, ATO, account takeover, is working. We'll discuss it gradually in the next cases. So this was all the cases where you can search a web architecture, HTML methods, Kali Linux setup. I will share every reference, and I will gradually ask how things are working or not. Then there might be some cases where I will put some homeworks as, if people who don't have installed Kali Linux, you just install Kali Linux. You have to configure Bubsuit and Foxy proxy, and just I will share all the references for Portswigger lab. I guess do you guys have ever used Portswigger labs? Okay, that's great. That's great. So yeah, people who didn't, use Portswigger, I think you should download Portswigger. I will share all the references. You just follow the YouTube videos. That will be very helpful. And do like, for homework, 2 to 3 labs there, as mentioned. And then, just basically understand how things are working. That's all for the first day. And just for one example, let's see how things are working uh, in project discovery or anything. Let's say I can't show you right now live, but I can show you some POCs. Would you like to see POCs? I mean those POCs that are cleared already. Yes, sure. Okay. I'm only showing those POCs that have been already resolved. Even I found some bugs in Zscaler, but that was not resolved. So, anyways. Mm. So I am showing you the POCs of my previous company where I used to, check for, let's say, Tollgate startup. So there are some cases, for example, very easy bug is no rate limit, but there was one no rate limit to account takeover and let's say one click account takeover. Okay. Mm. I don't expect you guys to understand everything very clearly, but I hope that you will understand a little bit. So here I'll explain one simple scenario. Let's say there was it already got resolved, so you won't find it. Let's say there was one website called app.tollgate.io and there was one endpoint called reset password request, right? And let's say I'm a hacker, right? And I want to get the account takeover, but how can I do that? I mean, this is a one click account takeover because you need the user interaction, so the case was like high but not critical. I mean, zero click account takeover is also there. So let's go through the POC. So let's say I want to reset the password, and this is the email of a victim. Now, as an attacker, let's say I know you, and you have a email of abcd@gmail.com. So now there might be a question: how do you know that? You will get it. I mean, there are some password resets open for admin accounts also, but I didn't do that. I just showed my case. So there is a email. I try to reset my password and send the link. A basic link will generate, and I'm opening my intercept. As you can see, I am opening my intercept. I'm clicking the send link, and when I click the send link, there will be a HTTP request created. Like as you can see, post API public reset password request, and there are some tokens and all, and there is a email. I mean, I submitted the email of a victim, and there is a callback URL. Callback URL means it is sending the password reset password token to that email. So this is a app.tollgate.io. Great, let's go. So I send it to repeater means I will check it later that how the request and response is working. So I stopped here and I sent it to, so let's say the request, I mean password went there. And now I will wait for some time and a password reset came. Let's say it's you are a normal user, you didn't put a request, but it is coming from app.tollgate.io. I mean no reply.tollgate. So obviously you will think that this came from a certain website. I mean the valid legit website. So this might be the link. So you click the link and it will give you a reset password like app.tollgate and reset password, then the token, right? Then I found out what if I change the callback URL. So I used my collaborator. Collaborator is I already discussed. It's a attacker's website. I mean a fetching website through which a DNS, HTTPS, and SMTP request can come. So what I did was I changed the callback URL to my uh, collaborator, and the endpoint was same. See reset password. So I can do that. I can change that. So I was finding that the endpoint have to be reset password. So when I clicked on send, and luckily it went 200, and the reset password was sent. So I thought, is it possible that it was going before to app.tollgate? Can it come right now as a my collaborator? So I checked there, and when I checked there, I found that yeah, it's this time it's not app.tollgate.io. You know, this is because the tollgate.io doesn't click the only click reset password cases, because that time it was using their own password token to follow link. But there might be multiple cases where you will just have to click, like click here to verify your URL or click here to reset password, and most of the time people don't even see what is written in the website. So as you can see, instead of app.tollgate.io, I got this reset password token from here. So let's say as a victim, I don't know, but I'm getting this from a legitimate user. So what I did was I clicked it, open link in new tab. So I'm opening it and it will give me a reset password. I mean, how can it give it a reset password? It just gave me the URL token and it generated my birth. So let's see what is happening actually. So when as a victim I click that link, the as an attacker I will get the request from the collaborator that yeah, victim just clicked it. And when victim clicked it, as you can see, I got the reset password token. So I already know the endpoint, that is app.tolj.io, and I just used a malicious website, and the victim doesn't know because it's coming from a legit website. So now what I did was I just copied the reset password token and went to app.tolj.io. So as you can see, it starts from app.tolj.io, then reset password. I opened that and put the URL there. I mean the reset password was there. So I clicked on reset password and a new password generated without the user even knowing that. I mean, victim even knowing that. So this was one click account takeover. There are some other cases for zero click account takeover also, but yeah, that's the case that I wanted to explain. So there are multiple scenarios here. I mean, I don't know how many are there. Some of them
I
are
think
RCs and other.
Shivam, yeah, that's wonderful to share the POCs
Right,
that
I
would
didn't
really
explain the timings. Yeah.
yeah motivate the community. Yeah, we'll continue in upcoming session as well, like sharing real time fixed POCs and details, so that would be useful for newcomers who are trying to get into the cybersecurity field. As you must know, ethical hacker side, what are the struggles and experience he just shared his own experience with one of the site, right? So starting with small, so far we have covered some of the tools and basic fundamentals, right? Take that terminology and go and read about that. As you read much, understand more, you will better at one day. Remember that famous quote, every ethical hacker or a famous hacker once started as a beginner. So when you start as a beginner, you may not know many things, but step into the first step is very important. So today consider that as a first step. You just get into the ethical hacking or bug bounty program. You just learn whatever topics we have covered. Quickly the time passed, like I didn't know how it covered 2 hours already. So I will share some of the input here. I need your help to provide you feedback. So the feedback, why that is important, as I have noticed in this crowd, some of the people are experienced and sharing some insights over the chat. Put your feedback as we will cover in the next session and upcoming session. We really wanted to give you, at least enough knowledge to start small. I am sharing your feedback form over the chat. Click that link and participate in the feedback. Whatever you would like to write, whether it is good, bad, or you would suggest something, feel free. As we are learning together as a community, learn from others. In the chat you have shared many useful tools and tips. Maybe some may know, some may not know. Many terminologies are really new. I was amazed with the XBAW, which is AI based hacker, or a bug bounty hunter, which is ranking high than the human, right? So those things are something new, and I grasped from the Shubham today. So also we'll share the LinkedIn link. If you would like to connect with us, you can connect and follow us, as we will share continuously the programs and updates over LinkedIn page, as well as our personal LinkedIn handle, because keeping you guys update is something really difficult. I just put the LinkedIn link on the chat box. Feel free to connect with us in case you like to follow our work. as we are sharing, past reference work on our community post in the LinkedIn. So next item, so the next call will be on 27th, as we have already given you the schedule. So we'll connect you on the next step. So before next step, we have 1 week time. Also considering that December, most of us are having holidays or vacation. If you are in college, you may have more holidays this season. Utilize wisely as we put the homework. Try to install Burpsuit, try to install Kali Linux, and understand basics. Use Port Swigger to cover basic courses online module. As you can start with online platform like Hack the Box, Port Swigger, then you come to the Burpsuit and Kali Linux, sign up with HackerOne and pick any scope, and scan those domains and websites, because the website owner itself asked you to participate. So no harm in scanning and performing learning, right? It's a good opportunity. As I put the disclaimer first, use this as a learning and educational purpose. Do not get into any bad intent by breaching or attacking any government official websites, because that may harm your you may face legal consequences. So keep that in mind. We are playing with
I mean, sir, we
yeah.
can, I mean, if we have good intention, we can hack government website and,
Yeah.
report them to NCIIPC if you really want to help, Indian government.
Yeah, so doing scanning and identifying bugs, vulnerability is a good thing, but considering data breach or dumping any data is the
No, you
limit. So
shouldn't
as
do
a
that.
beginner,
Right.
yeah, as a beginner, I would recommend start with HackerOne and understand the scope, and scan those given scope. Then once you are familiar with what you are doing, not like a random reading some blog and doing attack, not like that. You understand what you are doing, then you can gradually increase your scope. You can perform government websites and participate in our strengthening our national websites to protect the nation. So you can definitely participate. As I would like to inform one other thing, 100 people signed up, 50 shown up. Today, last minute we are having 36 people. I would expect maybe 15, 10 people will stay in last final call. The reason behind that, in my experience, really serious learners will sustain and put that consistency in learning and grow further. Okay, so if you feel this is not something you are looking or not interested, feel free to discontinue, as this program is definitely to enhance serious learners. As my intention was to develop at least 10 ethical hackers out of this program, as free of cost. Will teach them, it will handhold them to 0 to 1. So then you can grow from your career, and bug bounty program that will open multiple doors for your career opportunity. So use this holiday season and weekends wisely to get into this. As when you go to any program or any college or courses, day one would be mess as well as chaos, right? Like you don't know what to do next. Like that will happen in any course. Like ethical hacking program today, so many terminologies you might feel you put into some other world which you never ever experienced. So don't afraid of that. Keep that as a momentum to learn and grow in your career. Take that as an opportunity. Whatever experience Shubham shared today may not be documented anywhere in the Google or textbook, because these are real experience what you are sharing. That's where I have identified the gap. The real experience and the textbook experience never match. So we are bringing expertise and SMEs even from this crowd. If you are someone who have interest to showcase your skill, I'm open to discuss with you. I can give you opportunity, like you can talk any particular topic. Feel free to reach me in case you really have interest. So with that note, I would appreciate Shubham's effort today, and thank him for the time he came up with quickly the presentation and content to deliver you guys. So thank you, Shubham, and we'll see you next week with based on your feedback, and next session content will prepare and deliver you with quality. So I would like to maintain quality as well as the impact seriously. So feel free to participate in that feedback form and share your experience. Also, share this program with your community and friend circle so that more people may join and get benefit out of this. As we are running community given program, we don't have really funded to spend ad or really inviting anything for a paid program. But this is something like tell others if you find this session is useful. So with that note, I'm concluding and closing this session. Thank you everyone for joining today. We'll see you on next week. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity also. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye, everyone.